on. But is that out of bounds from Antonio?
Absolutely, it's out of bounds. And what we have here, Skip, and I can speak to this. Sometimes in our community, the black community, if we call out someone from our community for doing wrong, that person does not want to be held accountable for the wrong that he's doing. It's easier to point to the person that's calling you he or she out as an Uncle Tom. So by me calling you out for not showing up to practice, me calling you out for not being professional, you label me an Uncle Tom.
Yep.
That's lazy. Where's the accountability on your part for not holding up your end of the obligation? Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have played Antonio Brown twice. You know, at first you could say, well, he's trying to hold out, he's trying to get it. They gave him his money. They gave him a lot of money, Skip Bayless. And he didn't show up. Coach Tomlin, we're going to talk about this later, he used the term that Antonio Brown let this team down in its darkest hour, a term Winston Churchill once used during World War II.
Let's not compare it to that.
No, I'm just saying.
That was really dark.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the phrase that he used.
Yeah.
But in the Steelers' case, Skip, this was the most important game of the season. And not to have your best player because why? Because of something that was said, because of something you feel you're not appreciated, because they don't throw you. You get 150 targets, but that's not good enough. You want 200 targets. It's not good enough. What it was, Skip, guess who was the team MVP voted by the players of the team? Oh, Juju.
Oh.
Guess who led the team in receiving and receiving yards? Oh, Juju.
Yep.
I cannot believe that Antonio Brown will get upset at Ryan Clark for pointing out, bruh, you are a professional. And for you not to show up to practice, it's been reported this wasn't the first time. And I've said this, Skip, you don't just get to this point. Antonio Brown just all of a sudden says, you know what? This is where I'm going to plop down. This is where I'm going to drop anchor here. Go back. There was something in 14. There was something in 15, 16, and 17. But Coach Tomlin talked really tough yesterday. Now, I remember in that Facebook Live video, Coach Tomlin says, we're not going to punish ourselves. At that very moment, Antonio Brown says, aha, I'm a good enough player that I can do this and nothing will happen. So if I can do this and nothing will happen, I'm a good enough player, I won't show up for practice. And then he had his agent to call and says, well, Antonio feeling better, he going to be ready to play. I will give Mike Tomlin credit for this. He said, nah, that's not how we do business
He
here.
said it's not on the menu today, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. But for him to call Ryan an Uncle Tom, obviously, sometimes I don't really think that some don't know what that is, what that term actually means. But I think in this situation, it was real lazy of Antonio Brown because what he's doing, he's trying to place blame on someone that pointed out his transgressions as opposed to accepting responsibility and culpability for what he did. Ryan Clark is wrong. Oh, Ryan, you're Uncle Tom for telling everybody what I did. Really? So, not that you did it, you mad at Ryan Clark for pointing out and telling everyone that you did it. Man, Antonio Brown, but I told you. Said it then.
You did.
Steelers, you got to move on.
Got to move on.
You got to move on because he's not going to get any better.
He's not. He's only going to get worse. You finished?
I'm finished.
Good. Okay. So you have a far deeper feel for this than I have. But you mentioned, what's the definition of Uncle Tom? So I'm going to give you what I've thought from a distance, and you help me out here. To me, an Uncle Tom is a black man who sells out black people to white men in power so that that black man can get preferential treatment from white men in power.
Correct.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, that's sort of the gist of it.
Yes.
That's a basic
That's
definition.
a textbook definition.
Okay. So, Ryan Clark is a longtime friend of mine. I work closely with him at ESPN, and I'm going to defend him just the way you did, but I'm going to do it on a personal level because I do consider him a friend. He's as far from that definition as any black man I've ever known. Seriously, Ryan Clark is. And I point out to everyone, he was the Steelers player representative back in the summer of 2011? Yeah, 2011 when the collective bargaining was signed.
Correct.
He was the lone player representative out of 32 who voted no to the deal that now all the teams regret.
All the players
all
correct.
Right, all of them regret it now. what are we doing? What did we do? Ryan Clark stood up at that point and said no to the quote-unquote white men in power.
Correct.
So give him that much, and then let's just leave it be and go on to Antonio, because to me that was just childish or whatever. It's just you're flailing when you throw Uncle Tom back at
Correct.
Ryan, and he doesn't deserve that, but that's fine. If that's all you got, that's
all you got.
Okay, that's all you got. So, by all accounts, these incidents have been taking place with Antonio since training camp. And I remind everybody, remember the week 3 incident when the former Steelers public relations man tweeted, remember, I'm going to read his tweet. AB needs to thank his lucky stars because he was drafted by a team that had Ben, and Ben got AB paid. You know darn well he wouldn't put up those numbers for other teams. Now, if that's fair or unfair, you be the judge. But that set off Antonio, and he immediately fired back, trade me, let's find out. Well, that's been in his heart the whole year.
Correct.
Okay, let's just send me somewhere else. I'll show you I'm better than Ben. I'm better than Juju and Ben. I'm better than, like I'm the show here. And he just isn't. I mean, but once you get that in your head and your heart, you're going to have problems.
Right.
And the whole situation degenerated yesterday to the point that our man, James Harrison, it looked like it was at James's place in Pittsburgh, right? And his friend Antonio's there with him, and they post an Instagram video, and they're basically mocking Mike Tomlin, or that's how it came across to me, while his press conference, his news conference, is in progress on their television, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, that's really a low blow because it smacked to the Facebook Live that started this whole thing off, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And what I can't understand, Skip, where are the Steelers that's been so outspoken about Le'Veon and his money? Where are the Steelers that were so outspoken about James Harrison being released and signing with the Patriots? Not one said a word. Antonio Brown been cutting up the entire season.
No.
And not one has said a word.
I think they like him, and they respect him, and they know he's very valuable to their team, right?
And it serves them right.
What do they call him?
Quit
What's
on
his nickname in the locker room is Tony Toe Tap,
Yeah.
because he can tap those toes.
Yeah, and guess what he did? He toe tapped in his street clothes on
did.
Sunday
He did.
and left you out there high and dry.
He did.
Is that
And
what
they
you want?
know it now.
Yeah.
Hayward was quoted on his radio show. He said, we just can't, that can't happen again.
Oh, it can't?
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It can't?
Yeah.
He left at halftime.
Oh,
He didn't even stay.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is not the first thing that's been reported. This is not the first time they just missed practice.
No, that's why I said it's been going on all year.
So I can assure
And
you.
where was Mike Tomlin all those other times?
Yeah. I can assure you, if you've missed practice, you've missed meetings. Skip, I've had guys be late to meetings.
Yep.
In 14 years, played 14 years. I've had guys be late to practice. I've never, and a teammate of mine has never that I know of. Now, maybe they came so late, we had already broke, and I didn't know.
Yep.
But I know any guy ever missed practice.
Yep.
Never, ever, ever.
Ever.
Wow.
No, I got you.
So you got to have some chutzpah.
You do.
You got to feel real comfortable. But what you got to really have is 72. You got to have about $60 million in guaranteed money.
You do.
Knowing that ain't nothing they can do.
So speaking of that, by the letter of the collective bargaining law, the Steelers could try to go after the signing bonus
Yes.
that they already paid him
Yes.
for his conduct unbecoming.
Yes.
But it would be hard to prove because even this past Sunday, Antonio did at least go to the stadium, so he could argue, well, I went to the stadium and you told me I couldn't play, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, because obviously the NFLPA would immediately file a grievance if they went after his signing bonus.
Yes.
So I don't think the Steelers could win that one, maybe collectively if they had all the incidents documented for
Yes.
the whole year.
Well, I'm sure they do.
They probably do. I just don't know. It'd be an ugly battle. And then we get down to, can you trade him? Well, again, I mentioned to you yesterday, you have to fight with $21.1 million in dead money. That's if you trade him. You're still stuck with that from the guaranteed money.
Or you can keep him and continue to pay him and have him continue to exhibit this kind of behavior.
Well, there you go. I'm with you now. I wouldn't have signed him in the first place, but I think it's time to just bite that dead money bullet, right?
Bringing AB back under this current situation is akin to a man drinking poison and thinking someone else is going to die. You bring AB back and you think you're going to get a different result. That's what it's like, Skip Bayless, because he's already told you what he thought of you.
Whew.
Now, Ben, they can sugarcoat it. I ain't got no Ben, I ain't got no problem. I don't know what anybody talk about. It's all of a sudden Ben get amnesia. Ben, I'm like, how does Ben at the same practice as everybody else and people see him not there, but Ben didn't notice it. Everybody else see him throw a football, but Ben doesn't notice it.
Yeah, he didn't say, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Why not say something happened? I don't know.
But that's what I can't understand. But it started this summer. Everybody had something to talk about Le'Veon. Le'Veon trying to get his money.
Yep.
And they criticizing Le'Veon. AB got his money. And they're like, oh, yo, you good, AB. Keep doing you.
It has been a toxic culture since I started this show with you guys all summer. We've been talking about him. All right, let's talk about the rookie and the vet. Lamar Jackson, is he going to have the ability to take down